Hello everyone. So as promised, this is video number 3 on how to build a melody. What I want to talk about today is how to insert non-chord tones and then how to make your score look professional by inserting dynamic markings, inserting slurs, accents, etc. Okay, very good. Let's play this beautiful melody first. So what you want to do is you want to click on play and then go ahead and press the play button, and it's going to start sounding about now. Okay, so yeah, fairly simplistic, nothing to write home about. That is why we are going to use some non-harmonic tones to better this particular melody. Alright, so again, the idea of a non-harmonic tone is to use them as binds between the chord tones that we have over here. So, first of all, I'm going to figure out what's the best way to use them. So the most common of the non-harmonic tones are passing tones and neighbor tones. Correct? Correct. Alright, so if my melody tones are going to be quarter notes, what I'm going to do is wherever I want to put non-harmonic tones, non-chord tones, I'm going to change the note value from quarter notes to 8 notes. Alright, so I'm going to start with just inserting some passing tones. The passing tones, again, are approached by step, left by step in the same direction. So wherever I have an interval of a third between two chord tones, such as here on between C and E, I can insert that non-harmonic tone. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to click on the C, select it, and then in the keypad that you might or might not be able to see on your, I'm going to put it right on top here so maybe it can actually show on your video. On the keypad, I'm going to change the note value from a quarter note to an eighth note. Okay, and then as you notice, the note value has changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this rest here, and instead of that, I'm going to press a D. And I get a D as a non-harmonic tone. Okay, so it's my first non-harmonic tone. Now, can I use another one? Sure I can. I'm a composer. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the E, which is originally a quarter note, change it to an eighth note. It changes automatically. Press right arrow so I can select the little rest and then put a D there. Okay? And then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a neighbor tone between this C and the C that follows on the downbeat. Alright? Same principle. Select this as a quarter note. Change its value from a quarter note to an eighth note. Okay? You can either click on the keypad or just simply change the note value. And then select the rest. Here's a B. Okay, good. So let's see how this sounds like. First measure. Okay, that's better. Okay, I don't need to play through this entire thing. So that sounds a little bit better, right? Sounds like a melody. Now, here you have a choice. What do you want to use here? Well, we can use neighbor. I want to use an anticipation. I'm going to change this F to eighth note. And I'm going to use the A. It's not really anticipation because it's chord tone going to chord tone. But I'm just going to change the note value so it sounds a little bit better. So put an A over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this A. And well, I'm going to keep the A. Let's use an escape tone. So approached by step, left by leap. Why not? Sounds like a good idea. Here's a G as an escape tone. And I'm going to change this to the D. And I'm going to use a passing tone here, E. And here's an idea. If you ever have a repeated note, like you have over here, maybe what you could do is, instead of having two eighth notes, two quarter notes I should say, use a half note there. So let's see if that makes sense. I'm gonna get rid of this D. I can just delete it. Okay, and then this D as well, delete it. And then I'm gonna go back to first beat, change this, and then do that. Okay, because at some point maybe you don't want to, just for the purpose of a melody, you just don't want to use just eighth notes and quarter notes, and you know, maybe you want to throw in a half note. You can also use dots. Let's do that here. I'm going to use a dotted quarter note instead of a simple quarter note here. So I'm going to add a dot here. All you have to do is select it and then just add the dot on your keypad. Just click on it with your mouse or press the proper note value there. You might need to delete. There you go. So we're going to use this as a dot here. Sorry, this Sibelius guy is kind of slow. Okay. And then on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use F, and I get a nice little... I'm going to use A. I'm going to get a nice little neighbor tone, upper neighbor tone. There you go. And since we decided we are going to have a parallel period, obviously I have to copy and paste whatever I have over here into measure number 5. So I'm just going to do that. Copy here. And then I'm going to write some more non-harmonic tones here. Obviously this measure number 7, has to sound different as measure number 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this note value to an 8th note, and I'm going to use a downward motif. So here's a D. I'm going to use a C here. I'm sorry. Let's go back. I forgot to select. There you go. Right here, I'm going to use a C over this note. I'm going to use it as an escape tone. It's not going to sound very good. But it'll work, I think. And then I'm going to use some other passing tones here. Obviously, the important part is to uh, make sure that you use enough of these. And I'm going to use a neighbor. No, I'm going to use a escape tone here. And this E. Here we go. This D becomes another chord tone, and then next one is going to be an escape tone. Alright, so like I said, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but let's give it a listen. Yeah, okay. Obviously yours is going to be a little bit more complicated because it has the secondary dominance, which I don't have over here. But pretty much the same principle is going to be applied. Yeah, so that's about it for this video.